Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. In a minute, I'm going to be speaking to Ella, who's got lovely... What is that going up the wall in the background?
Oh, it's like a hand-painted sort of floral bunting that my mum gave me. I put it up for a music video and then I just never took it down.
I love that.
Yeah.
You see, that's one of the most beautiful things people have had on their walls in this so far. There's been a lot of guitars on walls, as you can imagine.
Yeah, there's a guitar there, not just in a case, not on the wall.
But not hung like, a hunting prize or anything like that some people have. We shall be talking to Ella about her music as Wildes just after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Oh, there we go. It's been a while since I saw the cat. 2 or 3 days.
Sort of fever dream sort of cat that was.
It really is. Ooh, it kind of reminds me of like my childhood and watching things like Bagpuss and
I
stuff
love
like.
Bagpuss.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, my sister had a Bagpuss teddy bear, so it was a big, good old CBBC. But it was before then. It wasn't even CBBC, but yeah, kids' TV was absolutely mental back in the day.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
It was strange.
Was it? Did you have any other favourites? I mean, I used to love Mr. Ben as well, who was this chap in the bowler hat that used to go into a shop, and then he'd get changed out the back.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
And disappear into a land where, he'd have his little adventure, and then he'd come back and get unchanged again, and just get his bowler hat and his shoot back on and get on with the day. Marvelous.
Brilliant. We loved. What do we have? Rosie and Jim, Tots TV, lots of puppetry actually back then.
Loads, even like the original Flower Pot people, Flower Pot.
Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can't beat proper kids TV. Have you ever appeared on kids TV at all?
I have. When I was a child, I did drama classes. I was like a stage child, and we did this summer sort of TV show, what that's called, The Pod. It was like summer holidays. They just show like 7 episodes of a show, and they have like a little kind of mini game show in between it. So I did that when I was about 10, up at the old television centre in Shepherd's Bush. Me and my friend, you kind of go into this, something like a big lorry that's got a studio inside it, and film bits to camera. So that was my children's TV experience.
Oh, there you go. We've had a few people on who have actually done CBBC.
Oh, really?
In recent years, we've had a few. I mean, people like Natalie Shea, etc., have been on and done all this and danced excitedly around whilst little kids go, whoa. Yeah,
be a laugh. We need to get a better agent.
I think it's the closest thing you can do to Top of the Pops, really, these days.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and Blue Peter stopped now, I think, or it's stopping. So
is
no
it?
more. Yeah, stopping. Tragic.
It is. But what are we going to do if there's not a Blue Peter badge? What's the badge that we're all going to have to seek after?
We strive for. I've got 3. I'm a real sort of teacher's pet. Got 3 Blue Peter badges.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
Have you really?
I do. I've got 1 green, like environmental one, and then just 2 regular ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's probably more than Sophie Ellis Bextor, and her mum used to do it.
I'd like to hope so.
That's great. You've had a charmed life already before you even made music.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why Wildes?
Wild is my mum's maiden name, so it's a Irish family name.
Yeah.
My surname's Walker, which isn't quite as interesting, and is already famous for multiple brands. But yeah, my mum, I've always been very close to my mum's family. My nana sort of raised me with my parents, so Ireland and Irish culture has been a huge part of my life. So when I was thinking about choosing an artist name, that seemed like the most obvious thing. It's really hard to pick a name.
Yeah, it's a cool name as well. And do you see it as what, a moniker, or do you see it as, is it a project? Or I mean, it's confusing these days with all of this sort of stuff, right? But what do you see it as?
The older I get, I see it more as like a sort of project moniker thing. I think when I was younger, I found it quite hard to separate it from myself. But as I've gone on to do other sort of musical projects, I also do a bit of writing for other people. It's nice to kind of compartmentalize things into Wildes. Yeah.
Let's talk about that then for a minute. You write stuff for other people. Is there an ideal client when it comes to writing for other people for you? Or
I think it's more, in terms of ideals, it's more to do with if you're writing with someone in a room, it's about them kind of being open and kind of all about trusting you. I want to go into a room and be the person that is maybe, I don't know, relatable or friendlier or just there to help the artist do their thing, which is, what all those guys were trying to do for me. But I think as a young woman, maybe I've got good kind of interpersonal skills, and I just always want to help someone put into words what they maybe can't do by themselves or struggling to do.
The thing is, because of the internet, right, people probably assume that when you do co-writing and stuff like that, that it's all just like a magic moment. Because it looks like that, doesn't it? You see those little videos, it's like, hi Ed, hi, yeah, let's write a song. Okay, we've written it.
Yeah, exactly. Should we try this? Oh wow, that's amazing. Whoa. But in reality, we're sitting around in a room for 6 hours going, what about It's painful. It's excruciating at some points because you can't really leave until you've written something. So I think it's about trust and forming a good rapport with someone, which obviously takes time. But you can kind of tell in the first session or not whether that's going to go anywhere.
Have you ever cheated it? Have you ever come to the room with like almost like a fully formed song and you've gone like, oh, and you just leave it a while and then go, how about this?
I have done that before, not very recently. I used to do that more for myself because you would never be sure how it was going to go. And actually, a lot of the time, you turn up to a session and someone would go, "Oh, so have you got any ideas that you've brought with you?" Which is kind of lazy, really, of them. But now I wouldn't really do that. Now, if I was writing with someone, I'd rather keep those ideas for myself. Rather than push them on someone. But I think it's more, I would probably more likely bring like an album that I've been listening to or a certain type of sound or era of music or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised sometimes at just how creative people are, actually.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the formula most of the time that people rely on.
Oh, I mean, look, you see it in my world. Outside of music, you see it in my world of like social media content creation and stuff. It's like, people are constantly asking me, they go, can you give me like 30 days worth of ideas for my content? It's like,
huh?
What?
That's your job. That's their job even.
Well, kind of isn't it, isn't it? So I write for other people and I'm creating for other people, but the thing is, like, I don't want to just create like templates for somebody and then just go, oh, here's a load of templates and this is just going to work for you. It's just got to be like, for me, a lot of the best content just comes in the moment.
Yeah, totally. That is the creation, right? That's the kind of the spark.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually just trying to get into a feeling, right, or a headspace or whatever that enables me to create. Are you the same? I mean, you said like you had a good night's sleep last night. Is there sort of like an agenda for like, oh, this could be a good day today because I've had a frappuccino, or I've had I don't know.
There are definitely certain conditions that help. If I have to do a day where I'm doing like tax or admin, I'm probably not going to think, oh, do you know what I want to do now? I want to write a song. It's the least inspiring thing. And some days in the like that, in the middle of that day, you'll think, oh, actually, I really need something that's not boring life stuff. Maybe I can go and like grab a little moment of creativity.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's not really any rhyme or reason. It's that old, cliche of like when inspiration strikes, when the muse kind of wants to channel through, you just have to run and grab the opportunity, or not.
Do you think that's what the Beatles did? Oh, I've just written Taxman.
Yeah. God, I wish I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking the bins out, turn that into an absolute classic tune.
Well, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If
Relatable.
Literally. Well, yeah, exactly. Someone's stolen my green bin, recycling bin again. Somebody stole my green. It'd be great.
Well, there's a metaphor in everything and anything. I believe that.
Yeah. What inspires you the most, though? I mean, for me, it's just like random everyday life. I love seeing people do weird stuff and then go, that's got to go down.
Definitely observing people, and most of the time I'll observe it, and it kind of starts a stream of consciousness about myself. Or I think most of my music is quite like selfishly written, just about me and my shit. But it's nearly always prompted by someone else's behavior or someone else's what they've said, what they've done, how they've done it. And humans are fascinating.
Yeah. When you say it's selfish, do you feel like you're being quite selfish when you write it, though? I mean, there's a lot of introspection there. I get that.
Yeah.
But do you kind of feel like in the same way you are helping people when you write this stuff by it being so personal?
I hope so. I mean, I don't actually think, when I say selfish, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it is, like you say, introspection. I think a lot, you can be selfish in different ways. If you're being neglectfully selfish and other people are being hurt because of it, then obviously that's bad. But I think a lot of people could be a bit more selfish and consider themselves and their emotions and their feelings a lot more. And that's what I use songwriting to do, almost to kind of mull over things that I'm thinking, things that I'm going through, especially if it's something I'm not quite sure about yet. If I maybe wouldn't be comfortable like vocalizing it in a sentence or in a conversation with someone, songwriting is a real important place for me to kind of weigh things up and to understand how I feel about a situation.
Well, you see, going back to what we were saying before, I feel it's selfish of a creative or an artist to be lazy. I feel that's selfish. I feel like when you just start giving people stuff just because like the algorithm says that that's what they're like or whatever, it's quite unselfish to put stuff out there that actually is quite challenging, isn't it? That's actually unselfish because you're not sure whether people are going to like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. It stems from the thought that I always have is that you should never make anything because you want someone to like it. You should make it because you need to make it, because you want to make it, or you feel like you have a compulsion to create something. And yeah, of course, it helps if people like it and you can earn money from it. But I think if you're starting out and trying to produce anything creative because of the like motivation of like approval and validation from other people, then you're maybe not going to go down the right path with it. Or it's just not satisfying because, of course it's nice to get validation. We all look for it in our relationships and our friendships and our work. But if that is the kind of main motivator, then when you get it and then it's over, it's not a high that lasts. And I think investing in yourself and, I don't know, soul searching or nurturing a part of yourself through creating is a high that lasts. And it's a skill, you have to practice it to get better at it. And I certainly think I'm a nicer person to be around and a better friend and partner when I have a good relationship with myself and my thoughts.
You've got a new album out. It starts very different from the previous album. How much of a reaction to the previous album was this album?
I wouldn't say it was the impetus behind it, but I definitely wanted it to sound very different. I didn't want to make the same thing twice or the same style of music twice. Yeah, I've done that for nearly 10 years, I think between my first ever single and my first album, there's not a huge amount of variation, which is, I suppose, is pretty normal for most artists. But for me, there was it was a long period of time between my first single, my first album coming out. And so I kind of felt like I wanted to catch up on all the years in between with this second album, because, the most of the music that I listen to doesn't sound like the music that I make.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
what would surprise us then? Go on then. What would be the most surprising thing that we'd find Ella listening to?
I mean, I really love like 90s hip hop. Big fan of that.
Really?
What else do I love? I love jazz. I really like a lot of world music. I love French music, kind of like 60s, 70s. Most of the stuff I listen to is quite old. Well, it's old. It's pre.
Oh, so when you're talking jazz, you're talking old jazz as well. You're talking old school. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this album, I loved trip hop, and I obviously love electronic music, and I wanted to very much ferry that into this sound. But yeah, most of the time I'm not listening to like singer-songwriter stuff. Every now and then, yeah, but otherwise it's just a bit overwhelming.
But you must be listening to elements of it in terms of production, because I mean, this album's got a very modern production on it.
Yeah, I think that's partly to do with Elena, who I co-produced it with. She listens to much more like modern music than I do, and I kind of get it filtered through her, so I get all the best bits through her.
Cool.
And I am most of the new stuff I listen to is a bit weird, a bit like abstract, a bit avant-garde, not necessarily like pop songwriting at all. Or you have like Chaperone and the songs that you hear everywhere that you can go, that's a really well written song, and
which we can't avoid.
No, you can't avoid it. So why? I mean, Taylor Swift, I will always try to avoid. But everyone else, all the other pop girlies, like, great. Isn't it amazing that so many women are like topping the charts? And I think that's really inspiring.
Why would you avoid Taylor Swift?
I've never really liked her. I think it's quite it's like what's the IKEA furniture called? What's it called when you have all the bits and you put them together?
Oh, the flat pack.
Yeah, I think it's like flat pack music.
Right.
Which is, I think a lot of clearly millions of people disagree with me. I don't know. I've never felt particularly moved by her music. I don't particularly love her voice. I think her songwriting is a bit calculated and maybe a little bit, for me, cold. I don't hear the emotion, and for me, music is all about emotion. And it's not. I also don't think it's particularly fun either. So it's just lacking in the areas that I like to kind of feel when I listen to music.
But I feel like you're the kind of person as well, though, that like if somebody now turned around and argued with you and said, "Yeah, but I love Taylor Swift. I feel like she, really embodies," you'd be fine with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just my opinion. She's obviously. I'm not objectively right, because she's a billionaire. She's the biggest selling artist in the world. So I'm not gonna.
Well, that says that marketing's a good thing, isn't
it? Well, exactly. And I think this new album has been very interesting. I think if anyone else released that album without the kind of career that she has had and the clout that she has had, it would be underwhelming. Like, it's fine. It's not groundbreaking. I think the last couple of years, bigger pop artists, especially female pop artists, have really pushed the envelope on what they're doing. And not that we have to constantly be evolving all the time, but I don't think that this is a creatively interesting album.
No. Are there modern female artists that you gravitate to, not necessarily from the music side of things, but just in terms of what it is that they stand for and what it is that they're doing, etc.? I mean, I think I found you, weirdly, because this is how the algorithm works. I think I found you from listening to Lapsley, for example. Right? I mean, are there people that you go, oh yeah, I like what they're standing for?
Yeah, loads of people. I mean, who comes to mind? Like Jessica Pratt. Love Jessica Pratt. Chaperone. Amazing ethos and just attitude to creativity. I love Little Sims so much.
Would that be a great collab for you? Given the fact
that's the dream collab. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a song on this album actually called "Love Hurts" that is quite string heavy, and we spent a lot of time listening to it instrumentally to get the arrangement right. And all I was thinking when we had the string, the instrumental was like, oh, this is the perfect amount of like bars for her. Like, who do I know? And I do know people that know her. There is, you know, maybe I'm like 2 people away from her, but I don't think I'm of the level where she would do that, you know. But that'd be amazing.
She should reach out. She might do.
Yeah. I thought she's doing her arena tour. She's probably a bit busy right now, but maybe it's worth trying.
It's look. Do you know what? It's all these days. I feel like we're closer to people being reachable than ever before.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true. I feel like you just have to go for it. You know, I really do. I mean, back in my day, you literally, I mean, you had your cassette tape of your band, and you knew you were getting that nowhere near a record company unless
you put it into their hand.
Unless you physically put it into their hand. And it just meant you had to like do a lot of gigs, and you had to, you know, gig with the right people, and then hopefully the right A&R would turn up, and you know, listen to this.
I remember doing my work experience at NME in like what it would have been like early 2010s. And the job that we had as the interns was to go through the big filing cabinet that was just full of CDs. And like if there was anything that was from a recognizable artist, keep it, and the rest just put in a bin bag.
I worked in radio, and we would get sent like copies of albums and whatever for consideration of putting into the playlist and whatever. That back in the days when people DJs could actually decide what was on their playlist before like it all went into a computer and you didn't have a choice. I wouldn't want to do radio, commercial radio these days. It just break my heart, you know. But even back then you had to pick a percentage from X artists and percentage from, but there was a little gap at the bottom where you could go, oh, I like this, can I put this in? But it's easier to get it out there now. It's just a wash, isn't it?
It's just massively saturated, which is such a strange dichotomy. It's never been easier to put out there and to have a platform, but it's even harder to get people to pay attention to. It used to be like 60,000 tracks a day on Spotify. Now I think it's like 200,000 a day are uploaded.
What gets me, and I don't know whether this ever comes back to you as an artist, is that the amount of people that like constantly tell you what you need to do is this, what you need to do is that, in order for you know, more people to see it. And it's like this. I mean, I constantly get inundated with people like, we'll help you get more people following you on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but I want to actually grow the audience organically because there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and it's more sustainable. It lasts longer. I remember having a chat with my publisher before I released my first album, and he said to me there are two. He was kind of like acting like my label as well. So there are 2 things we can do. We can go really hard on the singles, try and build you as like a big artist, or we can go down the indie route, slow, steady. Was it a steady drip fills the bucket, and just keep on making quality stuff that takes time that you're proud of. It sounds like he was angling for the second, and that's what I did, because I want to have a career. I want to have a long-term career. I don't just want to have to keep up, you know. And like that's the thing with social media now. You can have a viral moment, but you have to keep up with it. I don't want to spend my life on TikTok. Oh
man, you really do have to do it as well.
Yeah, you have to play the game to an extent, but I'm kind of glad that I'm not going viral because I can't be bothered. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm not particularly good at it either.
We did a whole webinar on it not so long ago, and we said, we'll show you how to go viral on something, right? And we literally did. I mean, we did over a week. We went massively viral with a few posts on a couple of platforms, and it was like. But the point of the webinar was, we can show you how to go viral, but is that actually what you want? Because you got to think, is that really what you want? Because once you get there, you've then got to maintain that. Yeah. You've got to then continue to do that thing that went viral, to do that. And what you end up not doing is the thing that you love doing. Yeah,
you just get further and further away from
your truth.
Job in the first place. Exactly. And then creatively, that is so not fulfilling and so
Horrible.
frustrating. Yeah.
I mean, anyone coming to your music will say that some of your music is, well, for a start, where would you place your music in terms of daytime, nighttime? I'd place it more nighttime.
Yeah, I think probably like early evening. Yeah, definitely nighttime. Or sometimes people say morning for me, but
or morning. Yeah, well, morning's an interesting. Certainly not like middle of the day.
No, it's probably maybe a bit much for the middle of the day. A bit intense.
But you seem to. What I love is that, like in the middle of some more somber notes, etc., you do then suddenly drop a very dancey number, which you've got on both albums, and you feel like, oh, I want to know why, because I love that. But why is that important to you to kind of show that kind of, sort of more pop side in the middle of, making us all think and feel?
I think something that I've noticed a lot in the like maybe like last 5 years of my life, where lots of crazy things have happened, lots of difficult things have happened. The thing that I've noticed that my brain finds very confusing is in some of the like most tragic and saddest moments in my life, there's also really brilliant things happening, and it's kind of about where you want to focus that attention. So it could be last year I was really depressed, I was miserable, and one of my best friends was having an amazing moment in their job and their life, and I was so excited for them. And then I would think, hang on, but how can I do both? Because I feel but both things so intensely, and they seem to contradict each other. So it's the older I get, the more that you just accept that that's life, and it's, thank God it's not so binary that it has to be all bad or all good. But I like to reflect that musically, and you don't have to be completely consumed and engulfed in something that's happening to you, because otherwise you'll never get out of it. And we all go through such peaks and troughs in our lives, and I want that to be represented in a track listing or in music, because so many things can be happening at once, and you're allowed to enjoy something good even if you're going through something hard.
I like that a lot. Now, visuals are important to you as well. You made some great visualizers for this album as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Was
that cold in that bath?
It wasn't at first, but I was in the bath for about 45 minutes.
Well, I was going to say knowing what it's like. I mean, like you're there and you've got a film crew there and whatever. It's a big room. Yeah. That ain't comfortable.
It was. I don't know what I expected. I didn't expect it to be cold when I got in. Your brain just goes, bath, it'll be warm.
Hot bath.
The thing that really got me was I had to hold my breath for 30 seconds for those slow mo shots. And I had practiced I was in the pool on holiday, and I got there and we could only fill the bath up so much because there was like a hole at the top that you couldn't see that was taped up, and we didn't want to leak and ruin the studio. So the bath was not optimally full, and I didn't realize how different it is holding your breath when you're lying down to holding your breath when you're upright. So when you're lying down, the water all just goes up your nostrils. So that was horrible. I felt like I had kind of choked in the pool about, you get that weird feeling, like taste in your mouth, and horrible. So it was like that for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it was fun.
I'm quite good at
challenge.
Holding my breath. I'm quite good at holding my breath in water. I mean, I said to you, we're going on holiday soon, and they've got a little swimming pool, and I'll probably be able to do like 3 lengths of that pool underwater, holding my breath.
Really? That's very impressive.
Yeah, I can do that, but that's with your head down.
Exactly. It's
with your head up, seconds.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing. So I was trying to come out of the water in like a graceful way. My face wasn't all screwed up, and also there's like just like snot and stuff. I was trying to like wipe it away before the camera caught my face, so it was difficult in ways that I hadn't anticipated. But it was really fun.
You've got a new respect for that Radiohead video now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where he goes under in the helmet. That's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
How does he do that?
Practice. I don't know.
He's got amazing lung capacity though. I mean, I don't know whether you've
Yeah.
ever seen it, but there's a little thing going around on Instagram of him early years singing. I think it might have been something from OK Computer or whatever, but he holds this note and he literally just goes on and on and on, and you're like,
yeah, it's
okay,
incredible for such a small guy to have such a big lung capacity.
it's just like, there's something. He must have a third lung or something that he just, you know, he is quite alien-like. Maybe he has got a third lung.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Tom.
He'd be a great person to collab with, I feel.
He would be. I know someone that knows him very well. I know someone that's worked with him a lot and produced for him a lot. I think he's quite a hard man to pin down.
Incredibly hard man to pin down.
And it would only ever be on his terms. So I don't think you could approach him. I think he would have to approach you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a musical genius. Kind of single-handedly changed the face of modern and indie music over the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah. He's just got, but what a real again, going back to it, what a real creative is about, just constantly kind of reinventing, having ideas, and, you know, and just sort of oozing creativity and everything really as well. I know that he, you know.
Yeah, truly. He doesn't give a crap. He just does what he wants.
Yeah. Is that the best way? At the end of the day,
it's the best way. It's not the easiest way, because I think it's a battle of trying to do something that you haven't done before and trying to feel like an authority doing it, you know, and not having imposter syndrome and not thinking, oh, well, it's not good enough. But, you know, people want you to set the tone, and most of the time fans will, whatever you give them, they'll like it. They might not love it as much as the last thing, but they'll listen to it and they'll give it a chance. And you'll probably, you know, attract a whole new group of people that maybe wouldn't have liked you before, which is kind of, you know, it's all about expanding your audience these days.
It really is.
Well, I guess it always has been, but, you know, it seems more pressing now.
Now, tell people before you go today, on this new album, what's the one song that you would really like people to spend a bit of time with out of all of the album? What you know, do you think maybe is the hardest song for somebody to really get into, but actually would probably give them the most benefit back if they persevere with it?
Ooh, that's a really good question. What would be the hardest? I think oh god, it's really hard. Probably as one of the last tracks on the album's called Without a Heart. That song transformed a lot when we were working on it. It kind of did a full 180 into something else entirely. But the production on it is actually very layered. There's a lot going on. You just can't always hear it because it's been mixed really well. But I think with that song, there's always new things to hear when you listen to it. And if you're in a different mood, for me anyway, when I've been listening in very different moods, that song has hit me in different ways. Obviously, I'm biased because I wrote it and I produced it. But that one definitely. And maybe the curveball that doesn't naturally fit on the album is a song called Kiss Your Bruises, which is just more like classic songwriting. But that one's nice. That one's quite a soothing one to listen to, even though it's quite sad.
But it's very beautiful.
Yeah, I like to think so.
You want people to come to it with their own life and their own faults and whatever else as well. But I do feel like in this day and age, I think when artists like you are producing great work, you know, it's just worth saying to people sometimes, do you know what? I know that like everything sits in the 20-second rule, right?
Yeah.
But if you do persevere, if you could persevere for a minute with this, I'd love to know what you think.
Yeah, that's the problem with our new shortened attention spans. You know, even if most of those like snippets that you hear online are like 1 minute 30 into the song. Like remember that CMAT clip from Take a Sexy Picture? That's like the start of the second verse. And I remember hearing that song in full after hearing the kind of clipped version, thinking, huh? When's this coming in? So you just have to bear with the song and let it, it's like what, 3.5 minutes of your life?
Yeah.
Just give it a chance.
All of us kind of feel like cheated like that these days. We're all kind of like, it's like when you go to the cinema, like we did last night, and you watch the trailers, sometimes you almost feel like you've watched the whole film. Right? I really love it when films actually really play with that, and virtually, 3/4 of what's in the trailers isn't even in the film. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I want that. I don't.
Yeah.
I want to be sort of like teased into go. Oh, actually, this is nothing like the trailer.
Absolutely, I think, and it's a testament to the fact that if you give something a chance, or if you will watch or listen to something in a few different times, a few different ways, of course something can be multiple things. Of course, a film can hit you in different ways. Of course, a song can be vastly different depending on whether you listen to it on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Thursday. But you have to sit with the art or the music or the film to actually get that. You can't get that off one listen. You just hope that people don't completely lose interest in like longer form art, because I think longer form is really what people want to make. That's what the creators want to do.
I think we all want longer form. I feel like we just need to learn to listen and read and appreciate longer form, or the more difficult entry points of art again. Well, we need to learn patience more than anything. That's the thing that's been taken away from us. Patience with anything, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like do you feel like humans will come back round? I feel like
I think so. I think actually the insanity of especially the music industry right now, but any creative industry, because of how strange everything is, like none of the rules really apply anymore unless you've got loads of money and you can just throw money at things. I actually think it's pushing people out and back down to like grassroots engagement, or really finding what you love about it and not just listen to it because you've been told to, or because the algorithm says so. I would hope that the masses, because that's where the difference is made, will come to appreciate music, film, fashion, any kind of art in the way that they first engage with it. Because I think, when you first hear something, it's such a magical experience when you're like, I don't know, 10 or 12 or 14, you discover something new. It feels like you have ownership over it. And I think we've kind of gone so individualistic and everyone feels entitled to everything that it kind of means nothing anymore. So I think we need to find that this like weird depersonalization will hopefully lead back into everyone engaging in a meaningful way with what they're listening to.
I hope so. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
I hope you've enjoyed our little chat.
I have. I love a chat.
Cool. Just before you leave, tell people where to go to get the album that's going to make you the most money. Because that's
probably Bandcamp. Go to my Bandcamp. You can buy the digital album. You can also buy the vinyl. You get digital with the vinyl. I post them all up myself, so I can write you a little note.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a packing shop over here.
Anyway, my friend, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. This has been the wonderful Ellie Walker, or Wildes, as you may know. Now, if you want to find out more, we will put the links into Bandcamp and Instagram, etc., so you can go and talk to Ellie. And if you do actually spend some time listening to the album and you find a favorite track, or you enjoyed the whole album or whatever, don't just put it on a playlist and walk away and then go and do something else. Stop and say hello to Ella and let her know what you thought. Oh, just before you leave, I did have an idea while you were talking about merch for you.
Go for it.
I think, given the fact that you brought it up, you should have a merch t-shirt that says, right, better than flat pack music.
I should.
Right?
Yeah. It's a great idea. I wonder if she'll sue me for that.
Well, no, you just say that your music is better than flat pack music.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
It could just be very generic, kind of like flat pack, like someone almost making music flat pack in an image. That would be marvelous.
Brilliant. Comic Sans.
I'd wear that. Comic Sans. Yeah, other fonts are available. We will be back soon with more of my music. Until then, from Ella and myself, thank you for watching. Until then, bye.